Hello, hello, hello. This is Rosa Rubio Giotto from RCG Creations. How are you? Today, sadly, I have to make a sympathy card for a close relative. I didn't really know him very well. It was my husband's brother's wife's brother that passed away from the coronavirus, which is really sad. And it's our first immediate family member that we've lost to this virus, and hopefully they find a cure for it very soon. But sadly I have to make a sympathy card, so I'm bringing to you a card, and I'm using my Cuttlebug. There it is. There's the Cuttlebug. And I'm going to be using this, it's the Anna Griffith Cricut Cuttlebug embossing die called Cane Paisley. And there's what it is. And it also comes with this little attachment, which I'm going to add as a little flap to it. I may use it, I may not use it. I'm not really for sure if I am or not. But anyway, there it is. So what I did is I just used a scrap of white cardstock that I already had. And let me get my cards out here. Get my setup. Let me get my plates, and since I'm going to be embossing, I only need to use the A plate and the 2 B plates. And I personally, because I like to keep them from warping for too much, I always use the color, the little sticker that's already on these plates when you purchase them. At least mine were always already on there. I do it this way, and then what I do is on every other 3 cards, I rotate it, and then I rotate it this way, rotate it this way, rotate them, and I'm doing all of them at the exact same time, so all these will be this way. And when I'm done with them, I put them back the exact same way I last used it, so that way when I use it the next time, I'll know how to flip it. So put your A plate, put your B plate. Oh, this is too big. Actually, it'll fit that way. So I'm going to end up having to fold it. So let me move this out of the way. And let's fold this. I think this is going to be a little bit long, a little too long. I think it is a little long. Yeah, it is a little long. Okay, so let me just fold this part, and I'm going to trim off the excess. Let me get this as straight as I can. Let me get my stylus. Not my stylus, my bone folder, to give myself a crisp look. Now I'm just going to trim off the excess. Let me get my little trimmer here. Line this up. Trim off the extra. Oops. I moved my trash can to a different area because I needed to get remove my craft mat so I could use the Cuttlebug, because it slides on this mat. Okay, so let's move the Cuttlebug back over here. Put this back. This back again so I can show you. So here's where the card's folded so I can fit it to the Cuttlebug. I have my Gemini that I always do it, but I'm going to go ahead and show you a way for those who don't have a Gemini or a bigger, like a Grand Caliber, or I think the Sizzix Big Shot, the great big one. This is what does the cards that are bigger than the Cuttlebug. So you just put it whichever way you're going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and use it this way. I could use it this way, but I don't want to, because this is a 5x7 card. Okay, so you line it up to where you want to do it. Now remember, because we're human, not everybody's card trimming is accurate. Even when you buy the store-bought pre-cut cards, like the cards in envelopes, you always want to double check it and make sure that you're embossing. See, like here, I've lined it up here, but this is going to be off. And I'd rather trim off a little bit on the end than I would on the fold. So I'm going to move my So what I'm doing is I'm moving the card over to make sure that the embossed edge gets as far to the fold as possible. Bear with me, I have to see this because this is white on clear plastic. Okay. Bear with me, I'm trying to line this up. And I don't like to emboss and it be crooked. Because once you've embossed, that's it. You can't redo. This one, there's no redos in this one, and there's also no correcting your mistakes in this. And I want to get it as straight, but what I'm doing, and I'll bring this up to the camera, and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. So what I'm doing is I'm lining it up the edge of the embossing to the edge of the fold, which you can see through this little crease, and I'm hoping you can see that in the camera there. But that's what I'm lining up, and then when I'm done, fold this up. I can always just trim this extra off once it's done embossing, and I'll show you in a minute how that's done. Okay, so let me put my B plate on top. Sandwich my, put this in, let's roll her up. Let me move this a little closer to me. And you got a little bit of, you can feel that it's embossed, but I'm going to do it one more time. And I could have gone backwards. It's really easy just to put it through and then bring it back. That's another way, but I want to get a nice good impression, and that's why I'm running it through twice. Then you close it up. On the Cuttlebug, you just fold up the plate, this, I don't know which flaps, and I always invert mine so I can get out of the way and I don't mess with this. Now, I use my washi. This is blue painter's tape. This is some washi tape, and I always keep it here. And I use that whenever I'm needing to secure a piece of paper or a die. Sometimes even those little small, little 1x1 or 2x1 folders, embossing folders, so they stay in there and they don't move around while you're using the Cuttlebug or any other die cutting machine that you may have. So put this to the side, and then there we go. And there is the embossed look. And you see how I got as close to this as possible? I could have gone over a little bit, but I'm okay with that because I'm going to give myself the same depth here as I have here. And I'm totally okay with trimming this down. So I'm going to get my big trimmer because this trimmer actually does trim a lot better than the other one. And I'm just going to basically eyeball this. You could go ahead and measure it if you want to, or I'm going to give myself a little pencil mark. So let's just make this about right there. And that, line this up. And you want to cut it with both of the card folded, but you want to cut it so it stays even on both sides. And I'm just going to line that up so it's just a hair. Not enough to make a difference. And oh, didn't go all the way down. I didn't push down enough. So let me line this back up. And it's just a little hair trim. And that's pretty straight there. It's pretty straight there. And I'm good there. And you notice on the edging here, it's all the way to the edge, but it's not all the way to the edge here. Let me angle this so hopefully you can see that because it's kind of hard on white. But so I'm just going to do a little trim on the top part because I want to make sure it's got a good raised embossed look. So let me line up my lines so I get a straight cut. And there I go. Nice and neat. And it's in there. Okay, put this back. Put my bone folder back because I think I'm done with it for now. Okay, so that is my background to the card. Now what I'm going to do is I got these stamps. This one is Hero Arts, and this one it's called, there's no name on it. Okay, there's no name on it, but there's all kinds of messages. Let me show you all the messages there. But I actually went through 3 or 4 of these. I don't really have, this is all I have for sympathy. So in a way it's good, in a way it's not, because I like to have these on hand and extra. But this one's another one from Hero Arts. This was a stamp and die. But I wanted to show you that's everything, and there's all the messages on that one. And this one's from Studio G, and it just says, so sorry. But I don't really think that's pretty presentable for this one here. So I'm going to end up, and I'm going to put this just on an extra piece of cardstock. Because I'm going to lay this on here in layers. I'm going to put this in layers. So I'm going to stamp part of it in the front, and I'm going to stick it on here, and the other part I'm going to put on the inside. Now of course I could have always stamped this first and then embossed it, but then that's going to take away from the look because I don't want to make it too much. And let's see, so let's use the words I'm sorry, and I'm going to say I'm sorry. Now sometimes when you get your clear stamps are really sticky, and if they're really sticky, get yourself an eraser, and a pencil, or I just use I don't know what they call this, but there's an eraser inside. This is, oh, it's called a click eraser, and it's from Pentel. You can get them at like the office supply store, Staples, the craft stores all have them. I've seen them all over. I've seen them there, and I'm going to put my little dots. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. But what you do is when they're really sticky, use the eraser so you can move it around. Let me make sure I'm in focus here. So you can move this around and it doesn't stick. It actually goes where you want it to go. And I'm going to cut around this anyway, so I'm okay with that part there for right now. Okay, I'm sorry. Deepest sympathy. Yeah, deepest sympathy. And on the inside, I'm going to card and put on there, sorry for your loss. So, let me center this. But see how it's sticking to my fingers? And that's just, some of these stamps, just that's the way they are. But I want to give myself enough room that I can cut around it. So, I lined that one up already. Now I'm going to line this one up. And you know what, I'm going to go back because I need to use my stamping tool. I like to use my stamping platform. And let me line this up first before I go too much detail here. Just for the simple fact is, I want to make sure I get a good impression the first time around. So let me get my magnets. Make sure my paper doesn't move on me. Okay, now I can line this up. And this is, since this is scrap, I'm not too worried about it because I'm gonna cut around this whole message, and I'm gonna add it just to. I'm not gonna put it in the center because I don't want to put too much of a focal point. Okay, that looks good for me. Let's move this over. See how it came off on me, so what I'm going to end up having to do is, it's another tool for your bone folder, is stick it underneath there and then you hold the paper down. Why is that not sticking? Oh, I know why. It's not laying flat. So I'm just going to, let me come back and focus here for you. What I'm going to use the grid marks on the stamping tool. This is the Stamp-a-ma-jig. And you see how that's crooked? That's how I know, that's how one way you know. That's what the grid marks are for. Is so I am going to move this over. I know where I want it, but I want a straight look. And then I'm going to do the same thing here on this one. And I'm just counting my little blocks. But I want it straight, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, so about the letters. And then this one's going to go over one block. And about, oop, that's crooked. See? So now you can see that the stamp is straight. And so when I stamp it, it's straight. Oh, I keep on. This is not, for some reason, it's not sticking very well here. And some stamps, that's just the way they come. There's nothing that you can do, anybody can do, that's just the way it is. But I want it in the center so I can cut around it. Okay, let me pull my bone folder to hold the paper down. Okay, so that works. And let's do, I'm doing a white background. And I'm not going to color it any. I'm just going to make it nice and simple. And I don't really want to do black. I don't want to really do gray. Okay, you know what? Let's do a silver. Let me find my silver ink pad. Okay, I must have that somewhere else. I'm sorry guys, I should have had this. I'm going to come back to you in just a second. Hold on. Alrighty, I'm back. I'm going to be now doing my sentiment message. And I apologize. Let me be back in just a second. Sorry, I had to double check to make sure the recorder was on. I'm going to be adding the Dewdrops Brilliance Platinum Planet for the lettering, because this is a sympathy card, so I don't want to make it overloaded there. Oops, let me get my bone folder. I want to make sure, let's move this over here out of the way just a tad. I want to make sure in case I don't get a good impression, I can go right back. Okay, I like that, but I definitely want a little bit darker color, so I'm going to ink it again one more time. And I'm going to hold the paper down to make sure it doesn't move on me. Oh yeah, but I definitely want one more time on the deepest sympathy part. And I think that's going to make it good. Okay, that works. Okay, perfect. Okay, let me cut this out and I'll be back in just a minute. Alrighty, I'm back. Now I'm going to do the... Okay, it's now recording. I heard the little noise go off that it wasn't recording. So I just needed to make sure it still was. Okay, need more ink. This is another main reason why I'm glad I got a stamping platform, because you just never know. Either you didn't put enough pressure on the ink, or you didn't dab it enough, and you don't get a good impression when you use a stamping platform, you get to re-ink it again. And it goes right back in the exact same spot. And don't forget, for those of you who like to use wood stamps, use the Stamp-a-ma-jig, and you get to do the same thing with the wood block stamps. I'm adding a little bit of pressure here. Oh yeah, let me do a little bit more on Thinking of You. And I think this magnet, because it's got some depth to the magnet, I'm going to move it down and see if that has something to do with why the pressure's not here. Okay. Oh yeah, much better now. That worked out good. And I'll clean that in a bit. Just going to move everything over here out of the way. But then there's for the inside of the message. And it's not too much. Here's my sentiment that I'm going to put on the front. I'm going to get myself some foam tape. Need my Teflon coated scissors. And this is going to go in the mail, so I want to put extra tape on here just to make sure during the mail transit it doesn't get all out of whack. So I did a little bit overboard in the foam, but I tend to do that, especially when I'm putting something in the postal mail. Because, you know, we're not going to be handled delicately. You know, postal carriers have so much to do. They can only do so much, and they can't keep track of something that's delicate. Even if it's marked delicate or do not bend, a lot of times they just can't control that. Because they've got limited space and limited amounts. So, I'm actually going to put it right here in the dead center. And there is my completed simple sympathy card. So simple but elegant. It's just going to be white, kind of white on white, even though this is called platinum ink. Just let her know that, of course, I'll write my personal message here on the inside, and then we'll stick it in the morning's mail. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit like and share. If you have any comments, post your comments. We thank you, and we'll see you at the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.